nice out here. We got some little left going on. Brooks is getting me right into them. I'm alone right now.
That big funny giant said, hey, hey.
I heard a wave. That was going to smack me. All right, I got to listen
That
to
blind
it.
husband said, hi.
Hey, blind husband. Hey, big funny giant.
Whalenberg said, good morning, sun emoji.
No sun yet, I don't think.
Angel 3 Fries
Too
said,
early.
welcome to Pete's breakfast show.
The breakfast show. I called it morning breath. I felt like that was fitting. I mean, I'm trying to save every minute to get in here. I'll tell you right now, I did not brush my teeth. Just making sure everything's all set
Angel
up.
3 Fries said, great name.
Thank you. Let's make sure all this works.
Welcome to the Blind Surfer Show.
Hasman Koyama said, go back to bed, it's too early.
Well,
Anyways, good morning, sir.
it's never too early. Well, yeah, it is.
At iWolfgang69 said, morning, Pete, I'm
What
off
a-
to work.
Off to work. Are you going to listen to me while you're heading to work? Am I going to be your morning commute soundtrack? I am up. I am early. As you can tell.
And Anime Aleph said it, why Twitch didn't give me this notification.
Oh, that's interesting. Twitch says it notifies 75% of the people.
Waylandvik said, well, here in Illinois it's sunny outside.
Well, not quite yet here. 75% of the people that are following me on Twitch get notifications. You have to make sure that they are enabled on your system, of course. But, you know, I'm going to try and do this. My new schedule, after all that work, make sure that my volume isn't too loud like it was for a little while yesterday. My new schedule going forward, I'm going to be doing 4 days a week. Even I am going to take one day off. So I'm going to go back to my regularly scheduled broadcasting on Tuesday and Wednesday. If you're curious, if you don't think you'll be able to remember this, you can head to my Twitch at Pete Gustum. My schedule will be published there. So you can catch me on Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 6 p.m., 6 and 6. And then Thursday and Friday, it's going to be, I'm aiming to get in here right around 6, a few minutes after 6, depending on the equipment. Which is always, you know, a bit of a crap show.
The Blind Surfer Show is brought to you by Blind Penguin Frothing Hand Soap. Order a mystery box, pump the nozzle, and see if you can determine the scent just by smell. When you're ready to know for sure, peel to reveal. Order today at blindpenguin.com.
So 6 and 6 on Tuesday and Wednesday. That's PM and PM. And then 6 and 6, or a few minutes after. Like, what time is it right now? It is, oh, I'm not wearing the right watch. I'm wearing my nighttime watch. It is 6:12. All right, so it took me 12 minutes to wake up, get everything together, get the chat lady to agree to work. I think she's working.
At Minamize Amber Harris 5580 said, good morning.
Good morning.
My
Good
kids
morning
are still
to you.
asleep since it's summer.
Oh,
I'm reading
the
and
joys
drinking
of summer.
coffee.
Being able to stay
You're
asleep.
keeping me company.
All right, good to keep you company. So as you can tell, I got the
Harley
chat
Dave
lady
just
working.
followed.
Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. And yeah, 6 and 6 p.m. and p.m.
Devlin
Tuesday,
Dustin
Wednesday.
said, wow, you're really a glutton for punishment.
Well, that's what Bananas. So she came home yesterday, had a great 8-day trip to Boston, did all sorts of Boston stuff. Her friend Jenny apparently had a great time. The two of them did. They were all over the place doing all sorts of stuff. She came back and I informed her that I had the deck fixed. I had some of the pavers fixed. I hung up a curtain rod that Steve had pulled down, and I had the house cleaned so it looked all nice when she came back. And then I went on proceeding to tell her that I was going to be doing 2 extra shows a week. And she goes, well, you have been known to be a bit of a workaholic. But basically she's just trying to make sure that I don't overwork myself. But this is fun and I like working. I have always, my entire life, well, I don't remember being 4 and 5, but my entire adult life, I've always tried to stay as busy as possible and do as much stuff as I can, accomplish as many things as I can. And, you know, maybe it's a coping mechanism. Maybe if I'm just sitting there doing nothing, I'll start focusing on the fact that, oh my God, I can't say anymore. Like, you know, not like I'm not aware of it, but I don't need to exactly focus on it. So I'm going to keep busy. I'm going to keep hanging out with
How'd
you
you
guys.
discover your vocal talents?
I didn't really discover I had.
At I the Nerd said, what's up?
It's kind of a funny question. How did I discover my vocal talents? It's like I woke up one morning and I went like, in theaters this Friday. It was like, holy hell, I sound amazing. I kind of decided after trying to figure out what the heck I wanted to do for a living, and I tried everything. I tried everything in the entertainment world. I actually was like writing cartoons for a while. I was trying animation. I was using Flash MX 2004 back in the year 2004 to like create my own cartoons when I had enough eyesight to do that kind of thing. Although I knew that wouldn't be sustainable. I knew I wouldn't, have eyesight for very long. But then I did stand-up comedy. Then I was in a band. I was the singer and songwriter for a band. I did male modeling for a while. I thought I was going to be a DJ. This is what I wanted to do. When I got to college, I took an internship at a talk radio station, WRKO in Boston, because I totally thought I wanted to like host morning shows and do talk radio. Got a little waylaid there for about 30 years doing voice acting. But I mean, voice acting is my career. This is just for fun. This is to keep me busy, to keep me entertained, to talk to you guys, and just kind of enjoy myself. But when I decided I wanted to get into voice acting after studying every aspect of the entertainment world, I was like, all right, got to get to work, because I played it yesterday, but there's this clip of this fisherman trying to rescue another fisherman in Boston, and like if people wonder, like this is basically what I sounded like when I was in Boston.
As I'm going up the ladder, Phil's like, hey,
Ladder.
it's either a seal or somebody's head. I see something bobbing in front of the boat, like about 200 feet. And I turn forward.
200 feet.
There's the lime green shirt and this dude waving his hand, and he's bobbing in the water. And I'm like, that's him. He's right there. He's alive. And we were like, dude, we just started crying.
Dude, we just started crying. Like that's what basically everybody in Boston sounds like. I got this like horrible accent. Dude, we just started crying. My name is Peter. I grew up in Winchester. I had a cousin who went to Harvard. I just had this bad accent. And that was my vocal talent was had to be unearthed, polished, worked on for decades before I could figure out how to not sound like that. Let's see. I got this chat lady working. I think I'm actually mildly nervous. Hold on. Let's see. This is the other chat lady. I didn't check to see if she was fully working today. Let me see. Or, it's an expression. Let me hear. Let me hear.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Twitch.
Oh,
And I
someone's
the
on.
nerd said the
says the
woe
wada.
The woe too. What was
Kimbo
that?
14 says good morning.
Good morning, Kimbo. How you doing? Oh, Banana is back. We're going to start. She's going to get right into the production line and start making all kinds of more Blind Penguin soap. So we're going to start advertising again. In fact, today's video that I'm posting on YouTube and on TikTok is going to be how Banana found and came across the Rockhopper Penguin and why she decided to go with the Rockhopper Penguin as the
Kimbo 14
Kimbo
said,
14 says I'm a kinda sleepy but okay.
you.
Waylonvik says what's your favorite surf spot?
My favorite surf spot is the spot where there are not a lot of people
At
and
Mr.
some
Richardson
decent waves.
1776 says hi.
Hi, good morning to you. This is not actually the earliest that I've woken up. Not by a long, not for a job, not for work, not by a long shot. Me as
Kimbo 14 says your screen went blue. Lenovo fan 2003 says all I see is blue.
Got it. Sorry. Tick tick tick. It just made the tick 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 saying it should be back. Why blue? I wonder why blue. Why would it go blue? I should be back now. Let me know if I am there. But I got the triple tick in my right ear, meaning that the camera has connected and we should be on the air. Because, I mean, if you're me, you don't really care what's on the screen, but you can hear me at least. But at least if you've got some fancy working eyes and you want to use them, you should be allowed to. Let's see. Seems like it's a little quiet this morning. Come on, chat. Get excited. Get me up. Get going. I did not turn on the fan in here. I didn't turn on the fan in here because yesterday I had the fan on. And
At Matejabron 3983 says went to your computer screen and we are good.
okay.
At James Gardner PZ3RL says hi.
Hi, James. Good morning to you. You were the
Lenovo fan 2003 says 11 on Twitch.
11.
Enemy Olive
Let's
says
triple
it's normal
that.
now.
Let's triple that. Let's get
At
this.
Findrag says Pete live at
Oh, jeez, I pressed that. I was like, oh no, I killed the text lady.
Findrag said Pete live at a time that is good for the UK face with open mouth emoji. I can't believe this
At
grinning
Shnoyavo
face with
Clip
sweat
says it's evening
emoji.
for me in Ireland, not morning, so can we rename it Evening Stream?
Oh, that's a good point. Well, no, it's my morning breath. You're getting my morning breath in your
At
evening
Haunted
time.
Doll says your wake up voice is even lower than your normal voice, Red Heart.
I know, but I
At
actually,
Mr. Ridrigan 1776 says what's your favorite college football team?
I don't
At
follow
Nerd
college
says we saw the
football.
Macaroni Penguin.
Well, I do, yeah. The Macaroni Penguin over there, that's Petey the Penguin. And he is, of course, the mascot of Blind Penguin Frothing Hand Soap, which be like Kimbo, be like Matea, be like so many of the people in the comment section, and grab your box at blindpenguin.com. I wasn't promoting all week because I was afraid that I'd sell out too fast because Banana wasn't here making the stuff. So I wasn't really promoting it too much across my shorts. But later today, there's going to be one on TikTok and YouTube. And then over the next few days, I'll mention it a few more times because we'd love to get it out there. And yes, my morning voice, I'm like mildly self-conscious. I'm trying to be a little quieter than usual. Usually for the past 10 days, let's see, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, this is day 11. So for the past 10 days, I didn't have anybody else in the house. It was me, Petey the penguin over there, along with Skylar and Steve. But Banana came back last night, and she's literally, if I had to guess, maybe 6 plus 8, probably 14. She's probably 14 feet to my left. And I told her I was going to be doing this morning show. And she said I'm a little bit crazy, but I'm being mildly conscientious of trying not to be super loud. But yeah, I try to book if there's any sessions like I do all those movie trailers for a TV network called Outlaw, and they
Ad Light
run.
Nerd says you gotta say the days of the week like the guy in The Godfather.
I don't remember how the guy in The Godfather says the days of the week, so I can't copy him. But I would assume he did it with like an Italian accent: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But yeah, so the network, the Outlaw Network, the Western Channel, I have to
At
do
Tesla
like,
Tip and Cake Zero says hello.
hello, good morning
At
to
Joni
you.
BC says good morning, y'all.
Good morning, Joni. Hey, Matea, if you are listening, I don't even know if you know this, but I did make you a moderator on TikTok. Oddly, you'd think, TikTok gets a bad
At
reputation.
Drag says, do you ever record for voiceovers in the morning for the different sound?
I did. Well, sorry, I sidetracked myself there. Yeah. So for the Outlaw Network, I actually intentionally book those sessions. Usually it's between 7:30 and 8 o'clock my time, because I'll be like, it's a double barrel Friday on Outlaw. Usually I do the vocal warm-ups before then, but like old Western films brought to life on Outlaw, the Western Network. Like it's easier for me to float down into this voice early in the morning. And then, wait, what's ticking? There's things going tick, tick, tick. Hopefully everything's still on. This morning, when I woke up this morning, to finish the other thought, TikTok does get a bad rap, especially with me, because they basically, they censor tons and tons of my videos. Usually when I'm doing something athletic or fun, it gets dangerous act. But the chat in TikTok is usually pretty friendly. So Matea, you're actually a mod on TikTok. I don't even know if I told you that or if you got notified. Joni, of course, is the queen mod over here on YouTube, horizontal and vertical. Got into a bit of a fight yesterday with someone that was
C4B
being.
says, hey, I have eye condition similar to you typing with voiceover. Twitch18 says, how are
Okay.
you?
Okay, I'm good. I'm pretty
Lenovo
good. Thanks
Fan
for asking.
2003
That's mighty
says, how high
thoughtful.
and how low
I'm
can you
good.
make
I'm
your
good,
voice?
but not great. How high can I make my voice? Not great. I was just singing the lyrics to a song that I blanked out on. It's too early to make my brain work. I do. I mean, I don't perform with a high voice. I don't know. There's never a time of the day when someone hires me and be like, hey, do like a really high voice. I mean, sometimes. I guess when I got hired for that job of the HUD job, I also played the little character next to him, and he didn't have any words. He just made noises. He was he kind of sounded like a little gremlin or something. But after this is over, I'll probably be trying to wrap up around 7:30 a.m. my time. I will do my vocal exercises that stretch my voice up as high as I can go. I don't want to go to it normally right now because I'll just hurt myself. But the earliest I ever woke up, this isn't that bad. I set my alarm for 5:55 in the morning, and then I just kind of like rolled in here, and I Streamlabs is the software that I use to go live with. And as you know, or as I think I told you a couple days ago, they did an update, and when Brooks came over on Wednesday, that show was lagging. We couldn't connect to YouTube. We had so many problems. And I'm like, these friggin' updates. And they tell you, they're like, you should update, you should stay. Anything, anybody uses any computer program, whenever they push out an update, they want you to do it because after a while, the old version's not going to work, but the updates never work out well. So that one was a total S show on Wednesday. And then I rolled in here this morning. It's like 6:03, and I don't want to be dealing with technical stuff. I don't want to be dealing with technical stuff at all. But of course, Streamlabs rolled out another update, and I was like, the last one didn't work out well, but because the last one didn't work out well, that's why I decided to go with this one. And so far, I guess you guys can hear me. I think it's working. You can mostly see me. I was told I was a blue screen for a little while, which wasn't very exciting for me to hear. I don't like hearing tech issues in the morning, but I believe that we are rolling just fine. So far, so good. The earliest job I ever had, I
At
used
Sarah Cam
Sarah, what's
7808
going
said,
on?
"Hey Pete, good morning."
Good morning to you. You missed my my blue screen
At
technical
Yufa
issues.
4991 said, "Hope you are doing well.
I'm,
Haven't seen your stuff that frequently recently,
you
but I
know,
always love it when I do."
all the platforms have had a bit of a fit as I've been transitioning from short
Kimbao
form
14
content.
said to get up at 6 a.m. for us is crazy.
I mean, I say it's for you. I do it for you, but you know, I
At
wouldn't.
Northeast Corridor Railfanner said, "I love this dude's content."
Northeast Corridor Ralphaner? That's an
At
interesting name.
Elevator 3 asks, "Good morning, Pete.
Why did it
How
say
long have
ask?
you been
Oh,
surfing?"
I started surfing about 9 years ago. So I moved out here to San Diego, and we moved here July 20th, 2016. So it's been just about 10 years. Hey,
blind_surfers_toaster just followed.
look at that. Now my toaster is following me. My toaster is the best toaster. I appreciate my toaster. Anybody wants to follow me over on Twitch, you get your username shouted out. Steve's head pops up on the screen. And we're slowly but surely trying to increase the trying to increase the follows over on Twitch. Because for the most part, I did hear someone saying that Twitch didn't notify them this morning, but for the most part, their notifications are the best. Their chat seems to be the best, and their retention time's pretty good. If I do an hour and a half show, usually people stick around for like an hour 20. So it's a nice community over there. So you can follow me on Twitch at Pete Gustin. Someone yesterday said that like stop saying that. The other platforms are going to truncate you, and I was like, okay, whatever. I still want to get people over onto that platform though. So yeah, moved here July 20th, 2016. And I didn't have any intentions of surfing. None. I didn't know anything about surfing. I'd never done it before. I'd never seen it. Didn't know anything about it at all. I think in like the 90s when I used to watch Baywatch with Pam Anderson, and I think Carmen Electra did a couple seasons there. I don't know. But I maybe saw a couple scenes where like someone was surfing in the background or something like that, but I didn't know anything about it. But Banana and I were actually having like a tough time meeting people when you're not in college or when you're not in school and when you don't have kids. It's hard to meet new people. And literally everywhere we went, people were like, "Hey, did you catch the waves today? Like, how are your waves? How'd you do?" And I'm like, what the hell, does everybody surf? I'm like, does everybody surf? And literally we're in a coastal beach town, like it's a little beach town in Southern California, northern San Diego, and yes, like literally everybody does surf. And people started putting it in my head like, maybe I should try that. I was trying to look for something that I could do with my very diminished eyesight. There's no other sports. A lot of times you can meet other people in a new town by like joining some like little sports league or like a hiking league or pickup basketball team or something like that. And I couldn't do any of that anymore. And I was like, well, maybe we should pick up surfing. We'll meet some surfers. So we just went to the end of the street. There's a surf shop at the end of the street. It's a tourist surf shop. It's not like a real surf shop.
ETG now Sray.
I don't know what the end of that was. I always seem to hit.
At Mr. Ghost 2828 said, "Hey."
Hey, Mr. Ghost, what's going on?
Sarah Cam 7808 said, "Kimbao, what's up, girly?"
What's up, girly? We went to the end of the street.
14 said, "See ya later, Void."
Where's Void go? Oh, Void.
Dublin Dusband said, "This show, it's like Pete just walked into the office and everybody is saying, 'Hi, how was your day?' What made you go blind, lol?"
Yeah, all that. Exclamation mark blind on Twitch will give you the answer to that.
At MakeJabBrown3983 tip $4.99 through
Let's
Super
take
Chat. I'm there on TikTok. I did get the notification about the mod.
Huh.
Thank you.
Well,
And always love what you do.
thank you. Well, that means you got to be double screening it, and I think the YouTube one is the most laggy. So if you're trying to watch me on any platforms, or if you're trying to watch me on two platforms at once, as some people do for some reason, usually just the mods, you will like the furthest behind one is the YouTube. The Twitch is as close to real time as possible. Like if you're on Twitch right now and I go like this, I just did that. We are on the same planet at the same time, and I'm talking and you're hearing me just a couple seconds later. Whereas if you're watching me on YouTube and I just did that, I did that like 15 seconds ago. So we walk into the surf shop, right? This is Banana and I. After I go through all the horrors of moving all the way across the country, which just could not have gone any worse. But we finally start settling into our life, and I decide that she and I need to meet some people and make some friends, so we're going to be surfers. And we just walk into this surf shop, And I got the advice from some young high school student named Kai, who I guess Kai means ocean. I think it means ocean in Hawaiian or something like that. And that's what he told me. And he's like, hey, if you want to start surfing, you should get yourself a nice big foam board. So he sold us this big, Banana told me it was big green colored 8-foot board by Catch Surf. And then he sold us a couple of wetsuits. And this kid, like, it was just so, he was,
Ocean kicked my butt.
hey,
blind_surfers_breakfast just followed.
I know. Thank you. My own breakfast is now following me, which is interesting because I don't really do breakfast. I always sidetrack myself with stories, but hey, it's Bits and Lola's not even awake.
Blind_surfer_PG_sidekick just cheered 348 bits. Hey Pete, did you get my art yet? Sent you million more and I tagged you in the Pete the Blind Surf Income Quad vid on it. I sent you that one too. If you can't find it, maybe Banana can check your email to see if it went to spam or something.
I actually wrote back to you and I said I got it. Hold on. It's like I don't know, where did I put it? You did send it to me. I think 1, 2, 3. Did I swipe 4? I think I swiped left 4 times, which is what I was supposed to do. This could be sketchy, but I'm gonna put something up on the screen. And I think it's going to be the artwork that you sent me. Either that it's going to be a picture of my feet or something like that. There we go.
Anamia Left said, I'm sorry to hear that.
So this is the picture that she sent to
At
me.
Syed Yusuf Ali C4B said at Syed Yusuf Ali C4B.
Yes.
Have macular degeneration and RP.
Oh, well, those are a
The
couple of
blind
diseases.
gamer just followed.
Thank you, Blind Gamer. I appreciate the follow. This is the picture that she sent.
I'm sorry you're having to.
It's probably a little small for you guys, but it should be on the right of your screen if you're on horizontal. It should be on the bottom of your screen if you're in vertical. And I believe it is a kumquat with a blind guy cane. And instead of a service dog, I think it has a service penguin. That is what Nisha described to me.
Attachment.
What was that? Someone was trying to upload an attachment? I don't think that
At
works.
Northeast Corridor Railfanner said question.
Yes.
How is life like being blind?
It's difficult.
I have been wondering for years what it's like being blind and getting around every day.
I mean, that's kind of a weird question. Like, what do you?
Waylon Vic
It's not
asks,
fun.
does anybody know how to change their username on Twitch?
I don't know how to do that.
Devlin Desmond said can do it in your profile,
All right.
but I think it's once every 90
No
days.
one is acknowledging the picture that I put up there, but that was the picture
Sarah
that
Cam
she made.
7808 said, hey Heather.
Hey Heather.
Lenavofin 2003 said in settings.
All right, you guys do tech support over there. I'll finish my story, but I did get your picture. I think I just put it up on the screen. I was supposed to swipe left 4 times, and I either put up a picture of the weird blind kumquat or I put up a picture of some other nonsense in my house. I take so many accidental pictures because I'm always like pointing my phone at stuff and asking like ChatGPT to read it, or I'm asking Seeing AI to read it, and then I accidentally take a picture all the time. So there's like a million pictures of my like computer screen constantly.
Andrix so just followed.
Thanks, Andrix so. Andrix XO? I don't know. Either way, I appreciate the follow over on Twitch. Yesterday, we hit the follower goal while I was live, and like this big celebration happens. It's like, follower goal reached. So we go into the surf shop, and we buy one board, because the boards are, it's funny, I thought my first surfboard was expensive. I wonder if people have any concept of how much surfboards cost. The one behind me is about $1,100, maybe $1,200. Then I bought the fins for it, and I buy carbon fiber fins from Futures, and the fins are like an extra like $140. Then I buy a stomp pad. That's the thing in the back, a traction pad, so your feet don't slip off of it. That's like $60. And then you get a leash, which is like another $30. So all said and done, the surfboard behind me is about $1,300 and change. Now, the other surfboard, I keep forgetting to ask somebody. I know that you can see it in horizontal. There's a surfboard over there. It's the custom caution tape one. Says "I'm blind, yes, really" on top. I'm sorry if people in vertical, if it's not pointed at you. It should be pointed at me. You should be able to see.
Bougie Beast just followed.
Ooh, I like that. Bougie Beast. It sounds like bougie. Bougie Beast. Thank you for the follow over on Twitch at Pete Gustin. More and more that you come on over, the more and more that you can hang out with all the cool kids in the Twitch chat, and I will hear all the notifications of all the stuff that's going on, including the follows, which is just absolutely fantastic for a blind guy to be able to hear the stuff that's going on. But that board that I was just showing, that caution tape board, that one is $2,500 because it was 100% custom made to my specifications. It's my height. So surfboards are way more expensive than I think people have. And I've got like 13 of them because I was going through a period where I just needed to like find the exact right board. Like surfing's hard, and if you don't have the exact right equipment, that makes it even harder. So at the time when we walked into the surf shop, I'm talking about the very first time, I just, me and Banana, two kids from Boston out here, and we're trying to like figure out how to go surfing. For some reason, I thought a surfboard would be like $100. I was obviously wrong by like a lot. But this guy decided to sell us a foam board from Catch Surf. This thing right here, this one is actually a foam board. If I were to flip it around, which I'm not going to because I'll never be able to figure out how to put it back up in the same spot again. But it is a foam board. It's compressible.
Pup Fruits Real just followed.
Thank Pup Fruits Real. I appreciate the follow on Twitch. Oh, if you head over there, it's at Pete Gustin. Hang out with Pup Fruits Real. But so this board from Catch Surf is only 54 inches. It's called a beater. It's a tiny little board. It's basically like riding in the ocean on a skateboard, which is fun as hell. But it's very difficult to get into a wave, and it's very difficult to control. On a 54-inch surfboard, I remember the first time I went down a wave, I was literally just going like, wow! Like, it was a very crazy sensation. But the first board we ever bought was 8 feet long. Banana said it was about emerald green. The bottom of it had yellow and purple stripes, she said, all the way across it. And it was $380. And I was like, oh man, that's way more expensive than I thought it was going to be. So we just spent all of our money moving out here. Like, moving is extremely expensive. So I bought me a wetsuit. I bought Banana a wetsuit.
Cronus_Taranto just followed.
Thank you, Cronus. Taranted? It sounded like it was trying to say talented, but I went with Taranted. Cronus is, let's see, that is Zeus's dad. Zeus was born by being sprung.
Hound Dogs just followed.
Hound Dogs. Zeus was sprung from Cronus's head is how he came into his existence. Is that right? I think I've got my Greek gods right. Thank you for all the follows. I love to wake up and hear that little noise and hear all your bizarre usernames. Look at that.
Follow_Fold_Fellows just followed.
Follow Fault Fellows followed. It's gonna be my new morning wake up routine. Follow, followed. Now I can speak my voiceovers because I'm all warm. So he sold us an 8-foot surfboard, and I didn't want to buy 2 of them because I didn't know if I'd like it. I didn't know if I'd be any good at it.
Or Umid 2 just followed.
That one, you gave the voiceover guy a heart attack with that one. Ortnamid 2. But thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Good to hear it. All you guys are out there. I bet you it sounds like Twitch is. Ooh! We did it early.
We reached our followers goal of 790.
Ooh,
Thank you,
790.
everyone.
Do you think I could get to 800 this morning? Like, that would be kind of amazing.
Aiden Elizabeth 06 just followed.
That's an easy username to understand. Aiden Elizabeth. That was super easy. Thank you. I think that's the first one I've gotten today. All the other ones I'm
Full
pretty.
follows just followed.
I feel like I butchered everybody else's name.
Alkin7 said good to see you.
Good to be seen. Good to be heard. Good to hear you.
just followed.
Thank you for the follow. That's probably a TikTok one.
Kimbow14 said NP.
NP. That stands for no problem.
Blind
Oh.
G Sidekick said any other of Pete's appliances following him LOL.
Oh, yeah, that's the other thing. I can never remember everything I want to answer. I was going to tell you about my breakfast, but I'm telling you my story of my first surfboard. So it just, I didn't want to spend, $380 for a surfboard. I didn't want to spend, what would that be for 2? $760 or something like that? Yeah. Yeah, why can't I do math in the morning? I don't know. I didn't want to spend $700 for 2 surfboards. So what we did is we put on our wetsuits, Banana and I. She drove us to the beach with our 1 surfboard. And then the thing was, I didn't really understand that surfing was supposed to be like way out in the ocean. I thought surfing was basically boogie boarding, where you just riding the breaking water. So when she would surf, I just kind of like wade out into, like chest deep water and just be there with her. I had a little vision at that point. Like I knew if she was standing next to me, I could see the contrast of her versus like the ocean or her against the sky. I could see shapes at that point. It went very fastly. That's my brain not working in the morning. It went very quickly over the course of the next year. Like the last year of me really being able to see much of anything. I was able to walk down the street by myself. I even rode my bike a few times out here, skateboarded down the street a few times. It was 2016. It's about the last time I could kind of really see anything on my own. But I used to walk out with her, and she would catch a few waves in. I think she'd like catch 5, and by catch 5, I mean we'd get on the board, we'd push it forward, we'd try and stand up, and then would fall over or not stand up at all because surfing is extraordinarily difficult. And I think maybe about a month or so, we went to the beach like every Saturday and Sunday for a month and would be out there. We must have looked cute. Must have looked pretty funny. Just the two of us out there in our wetsuits, like trading on one board. And then I went back to that shop again about a month later and bought my second board, and we called it Waldo. There's a fun video on the YouTube channel called "A Funeral for Waldo."
Cheese God 1989 just followed.
Cheese God, like that one. A lot of people are huge. Like a lot of people are obsessed with cheese. Like they like, I like cheese. Cheese on my hamburger is a good thing. Little nibble of cheese here and there. But some people.
Blind_surfers_pizza just followed.
Blind Surfers Pizza has followed. Some people love. There's like a cheese bar. There's a cheese bar at one of the high-end supermarkets in the town that I live in. I'm like, oh my god, like expensive cheeses and stuff. But we bought Waldo, and the video that you can see about the death of Waldo is called "A Funeral for Waldo." And we called it Waldo because the surfboard, I named it, he has the white stripe and a red stripe and a white stripe and a red stripe on the bottom of it. And then the top of it is like this blue raspberry color. And I like, because I can remember, it's 10 years ago, and I can remember seeing, if someone described something to me at that point, 10 years ago, if they described something to me, and they're like, what you're looking at is a red and white striped surfboard, then I could like kind of stare at it and assemble what my brain was feeding me and be like, okay, I get it. I mean, if they had told me like you're staring at a green and white surfboard, I would have made my brain try and force it to be a green and white surfboard. But people weren't messing with me like that. So I excuse me. I bought the second surfboard. My first one was 8 feet, and my second one was 6'4". And then Banana and I started riding those together at the same time out there in the water, which is pretty fun. But shortly after that, like at the end of the second month, because we were riding our surfboards so close to the shore, we weren't like doing the real surfing thing. We weren't out, catching like the real, they called them green waves before they broke in. We were just catching the stuff at the shore that like a boogie boarder would ride. She took a ride all the way in to the shore, and I guess she didn't quite know how close to the shore she was, because she rode all the way to the shore, and the board stopped, and she shot forward, wasn't prepared for it, and rolled. So if these are toes, what did I just do? I just hit the microphone. Her toes like rolled over, and she basically broke her one of her toes. And immediately afterwards, like this black line appeared on her toe, and it was very, very painful, she said.
Blind_surfers_cheese_bar just followed.
There you go. There's my cheese bar. My cheese bar is now following on Twitch. A lot of my own. I think that I believe this is the same person, and I know you're being cute and trying to be helpful, but if I have a bunch of fake accounts following me, that's not that great, honestly. Like Twitch doesn't like it, because for all they know, like I'm doing it. They would prefer that real people follow me. So it's fun, it's cute. You're welcome to put those things in the chat.
Omi_Rex 2012 just followed.
Thank you, Omi_Rex. I appreciate that. I believe that's a real follow. But if my entire channel has like 20 to 30 like fake accounts on it, it just looks like I've got bots and not a real channel. So it's fun. I appreciate it. Thank you. But no need to keep doing that. It actually doesn't end up being helpful in the long run. So Banana, there was some debate there, whether it was fully broken or not, but regardless, it was extremely painful.
The Blind Fisherman 27 just followed.
I feel like fishing is something I could do blind. It actually might help me out. The last time I fished, I could see, and it was so gross.
Kimbo14 just cheered 200 bits. No sound.
At Cross028 says soundboard is down again. At Miscreant 999 says am I the only one who can't hear him? At my name is Amber Harris 5580 says sound is out. At Grudachon says where's the audio? At MRJDamBro says or I have gone deaf, no sound. At Misty01T3W says I can't hear him either. At Devil's Advocate 2354 says audio issues, no sound right now. Blind Surfer PG Sidekick says I have no sound. At Joni BC says I've texted Pete to let him know we lost audio. At Rearimer 4978 says no audio. Thedlin Fisherman 27 says I thought it was my headphones. Saracom 7808 says I told him there's no sound. At Miscreant 999 says no SMT happened with the audio. Kimbo 14 says he is working on it. Yordach Coach says he's working on it.
Yep. I
At
think
Tony
that.
BC says I've texted him about the audio.
Yep, I should have gotten it
Lenovo
back.
Fan 2003 says I thought my headphones died.
No.
Saracom 7808 says he's working on it, guys.
Let me know.
At Grudachon
Let me-
says
yeah,
damn
let
you
me-
technology.
Let me know if it's back.
Glyn Husband says I'm pretty sure he gets it at this point, guys.
Yeah.
At Starfire 8742 says nope, I can't hear him either, don't feel bad.
I know. Hopefully I'm back
Twister
now.
466 says brew.
Yeah, you gotta tell me
At
if it's
Neon
back.
XVR says GGS.
Why does it take so
At Devil's
long?
Advocate 2354 says thanks, Joni.
I am trying
Thedlin
to
Fisherman
see
27 says you're
if.
back.
Okay.
Yordach Coach says you're back. Thanks.
Friday morning breath of the blade. Yeah.
Lenovo Fan
Yeah,
2003
it's
says
back.
it's fixed.
Okay, there we go.
Thiglint Husband says you're back, brother.
I don't need those
Blind
technical
Surfer
issues in the
PG
morning.
Sidekick says let me eat my kumquats in the meantime.
Okay.
Kimbo
Sorry,
14
everybody.
says you are back.
Okay, sorry,
At
everybody.
Joni BC says just my job.
Yeah, this is
At Misty01T3W says yee.
Yee.
At Joni BC says woohoo, you're back.
I wonder why
Saracom
that keeps happening.
7808 says I told her he's back.
I told her
At
I'm a
Mom
boy.
452
I'm a
says
boy.
good deal audio.
Okay, all right, I got that fixed. Thank you very much for letting me know. Technical issues in the morning. Not what I want to deal with, but I guess you guys probably told me pretty quickly. If I could just get that thing to stay on all the time, that would make me so happy. I feel like I should set up some sort of like alert that you guys can trigger. I think that's possible. I think. But then you'd probably like the people that aren't cool probably would like trigger it too much. There's like something in Twitch you can do where I can have people redeem channel alerts and it'll automatically like be like, "Hey Pete, your audio is off." But I guess so long as Joni or Sarah is watching, they do have my phone number. So Joni texted me right away and said, "Your audio's off," and then I have to go and reset everything. Of course, in the reset, I was not able to reattach. I just did it. I did a quick patch job over there. I did a couple, but I didn't attach my fancy voiceover microphone. So if somehow we hit a hype train today on Twitch, I won't be able to use my voiceover microphone. But I was in the middle of a story. I don't know where you guys lost me, but basically Banana had broken her toe and I kept on surfing. And then by the time her toe was better, I was already like a decent surfer, like pretty good. And it was going to be taking her a while to catch up. And she was just like, I'll just stay here and read a book, which is, I do kind of wish she'd kept up with it. It would have been nice if we could both surf. I think a lot of the people that watch my videos casually, they don't know. They think that blonde-haired, blue-eyed woman that's out there with me all the time is Banana, but that's actually Nisha.
Thumbs up emoji.
Thumbs up emoji. I appreciate that.
Your tech coach said the joys of lag.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
At Big Funny Giant said we hear you, Pete.
Hey, that one's way behind. Wait, is that one? Are people still saying that, or is that just like way behind? Oh,
Peteth Fisherman just followed.
thank you, Peteth Fisherman. And now I've got a couple of fishers following me. I got the Blind Fisherman and Peteth Fisherman following me. So now I feel like I should go do a fishing episode. So many people this is a Salty Cruise, like this whole surf company out here. I've been asked so many times to go out and do like big deep sea fishing, but I don't know, I'm like too empathetic. Like call me like a giant wimp. Like I would never want to go hunting. I would feel horrible killing like a deer. I would feel bad about it. And a part of me, I'm a total wuss, and I'm a hypocrite too because I love hamburgers. But I feel like just yanking some fish out of the water and watching it like flop 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 die Like, it's not really my idea of a good time. I
At Big Funny Giant says my fault.
what? Oh, were you the one that was telling me the sound was working later than everybody else? Um, I think when I use, hold on, I've got the two voices. I got the two. If I put the second voice on,
At Joni BC said tech issues in the morning means the rest of your day is going to be very good.
yeah, that's true. I mean, if I can wake up
Sarah
ridiculously
Cam
early,
7808 asks Blind Surfer Sidekick, is it you making all these usernames?
yes, that is her. She's making the many
Pateka
usernames.
Fisherman just followed.
Thank you. That's the third fisherman. Oh,
At
unless it's
Joni BC said
no.
we just use downtime as bathroom or snack break.
Wait, so I'm in the
Dublin Fisherman 27 said, have you tried fishing?
I'm literally in the middle of talking about fishing right now. You're in the bathroom, listening to me right now. It's good to know I can keep you company on your morning dump. I mean, I used to fish when I was a kid. I did drop line fishing, and I've told the stories before. Real quick, I once caught an eel, which was this black slimy eel. I was drop line fishing trying to get sunfish and perch, and I pulled up an eel, which was just effing horrible. I had to have someone come over, and I think at this point I can't remember whether they cut the line out or why am I getting emails at this point? No, that's just Joni. Oh, that's the problem. I'm in sleep lock. I'll have to figure out what that is. I got an email from. Now I'm curious. I got an email from Twitch. What did I do? They either had to cut the line or they grabbed the eel and took the hook out. Either way, I was like freaking out. I'm like, that's gross. Because I was a kid too. I was like 9 years old. One time I caught a snapping turtle and the thing was huge. It was like this big. And I had to walk it. I was standing on a dock when I caught it. And I had to walk it, yank it by its poor mouth with the hook in it all the way over to a ramp. And then someone was trying to get the hook out of his mouth, but he was not having it. So I know they cut that line. So there's probably still some. These turtles live forever. They live forever. Well, not forever, but a very long time. But that dude was, swimming around that lake with a hook in his mouth for a long time because of me, and I felt bad about that. And then the grossest one ever was when I caught a sunfish and I pulled it up, and the hook had gone way inside the thing, and it was coming out its eye. And the kid I was with, Will, he grabbed the fish and yanked the hook out, and the eye sucked into the. It's so gross to think about. It's too early. So yeah, I've been surfing, but I had like so many gross, nasty experiences. It's just not like I'm glad people enjoy it. There's a lot of people in this area, but they walk down to the beach and they throw out their lines. And a lot of times I'll be out there with Brooks and he'll be like, oh, stupid. Someone just threw out their line right in front of us because he doesn't want me to like surf into it. So then we have to paddle away and move our spot. There's a lot of fishers out here, but I am not one of them.
44GEZY said, how's it going?
It's going good. 44G easy. Why?
Dublin Fisherman 27 said, that's not nice.
What's not nice? The way I caught the fish.
At Joni BC said, Pete,
yes.
I highly recommend deep sea fishing.
I guess.
The group that contacted you is good.
Yeah.
Even if you don't want whatever fish you catch, they'll take care of it.
I know. I'm built like a wimp. Like
At Starfire 8742 said you.
Starfire.
Gnarly.
Gnarly. Cool. Just throwing out surfer words there. I just kind of like my activities to not involve the death of something that I directly cause. I don't know. I don't want to besmirch the sport of fishing. It's I don't know if it's not for me. I don't think, but I guess I should at least try it. I should go out there and get on the boat and have them. I think they do everything for you though. And these it's like fishing tours where they bait the hook and everything and they take you to the spot and you just cast your line or whatever. So I don't know. I'll try it one of these days. Maybe by the end of the summer, I'll head on one of those boats that keeps offering to take me out. I started to say that this was not the what time is it now?
6:53 a.m.
6:53. How have I already been here for 50? Well, no, I think I started at like 6:05. I'm going to try and stick around on these mornings. I could technically probably take it till right about 8 because my first actual session isn't 8 o'clock. But a lot of times, if you were watching yesterday, I start to get hit up pretty hard at around 7:30, between 7:30 and 8. People are starting to get ready. But I was starting to say that this is not the earliest that I used to wake up in my life. In college, one of my first internships at a radio station was for a morning show, and those started at 6 o'clock. And because I was an intern, I wasn't like a host or a producer. That's funny. Oh, I'm getting a. Oh, that is a radio station in Augusta, Georgia. So I'll have to read for that in the next hour. I'll have to get that one out. That one is not an emergency voiceover. That's just a voiceover that I got to do at some point in the near future. But because I was just an intern, I didn't have to be there like super early. Like the hosts of morning shows, because they go on air at 6, they got to get there at like 5:30, maybe even earlier, to start like prepping what they're going to talk about. But as the intern in college, I just showed up like right around 6. But I think it was it was November of my freshman year of college. I decided I wanted to try and get on air, and I told the story where I became a traffic reporter. So I wanted to be a DJ. I wanted to be like doing a morning show or some evening. Like I wanted to be on the air, like spinning records or doing a talk show. But the closest I could get was being a traffic reporter. So I got the job in Boston as a traffic reporter, and that job started at 5. Like I had to be doing my very first report on WBZ AM radio. Was at 10:30 a.m. in Boston at 5 o'clock. And the trains in Boston didn't start running until I think 6. I think that's when they started. Whatever it wasn't when I needed it. And so I lived in Brighton, Massachusetts at the time, which was the entire width of the city of Boston away from where the traffic reporting building was. And so I had to be on air at 5 o'clock, meaning I had to be in the building at like 4:45, because I had to like write my first report and sound like I knew what I was doing. And so it was a 6-mile hike between where I lived and where the traffic reporting headquarters were. So I had to be there at 4:45. I used to leave my house at 3:45 in the morning on a skateboard, and there was nobody on the street. So I would literally just it was my freshman year of college, and I didn't have a bike in the city of Boston. My mom would not let me take my bike. She's like, I am not letting my half-blind son take his bicycle into the city of Boston. You're going to die. She's like, you're going to get killed. But I did sneak my skateboard into the city with me. So freshman in college, skateboarding through the campus of Boston University, all the way down Comm Ave, up Beacon Hill. So I think I averaged about 6 miles an hour on a skateboard, because it was a 6-mile ride, and it usually took me about an hour, maybe 50 minutes or so. But so I'd set my alarm for 3:30 in the morning, leave the house at 3:45, get to the traffic place at 4:45, and be on air at 5. And then I would do traffic reporting until 8. Then I would skateboard across the city again and go to my first class in the morning at Boston University at 9 a.m. So 9 a.m., all the other college kids are like rolling into their first class. They're like, oh, last night was rough. This 9 a.m. class sucks. Meanwhile, I'd been up since 3:45 in the morning. And then I had an evening internship as well for a show that went from 7 to 10 on AM 680 WRKO in Boston. And that show was called Two Chicks Dishing. So I would work from 7 to 10, then do post-show work until 11. And a lot of times I would just sleep at the radio station for 3.5 hours, and then skateboard all the way to work and do my traffic reporting.
So cool.
So this is by far not the earliest I've ever had to wake up, nor is it the most difficult morning thing I've ever had to do. Because I'll tell you, skateboarding across the entire city of Boston at 6 o'clock in the morning, or no, at 3:45 in the morning, a 6-mile ride, is part of it was peaceful.
Devlin Desmond said I was calling him a softie in a good sense.
Yeah,
that he cares about things.
Yeah, I care about stuff. I had a bunch of I did a bunch of those episodes where I got to like meet all those animals. Like I did the Safari Park Zoo.
Fisherman 27 said, well, not that cool.
What? Oh, someone defending me? Maybe him calling me a softie? I don't care. I like animals. I like animals.
At Starfire 8742 said, really early mornings, Pete. I feel you. There woke up today at 3:45 in the a.m.
Yeah, so that's when my alarm clock used to go off.
Sarah Cam 7808 said, softie is a compliment, lol.
It can be, depending on what you're about to do. There's one particular circumstance where that is not a compliment. could be a bit. You know where I'm going with that. But there was something about being up at that hour in the city of Boston and skateboarding across the whole city. I remember like at a certain point.
Devil's Advocate 2354 says we are animals.
I'm an animal. We are. I want you like an animal.
Atsupayazu says, what are the names of your nivels?
Nivels?
Edwin Fisherman 27 says, I woke up at 5 a.m.
I don't have any nivels.
At Kiki Violin says, morning. I couldn't make the stream yesterday. Did it go well?
Yesterday did go well. I feel like, yeah, I mean, I told
At
Banana,
Joy 124 says better to have heart than not right.
yeah.
At Joni BC says I was up off and on all night weird dreams.
Oh, here's my, this is my, stop that
At
alarm.
Joni BC says
7
yes.
a.m. That's my 7 a.m. A lot of people talking about my my reluctance to fish. I don't know. And I work for a bunch of hunting shows too. Like I'm not one of those people. I'm like, you shouldn't hunt. Like I don't care what other people do. And again, I understand. Like I need hunters out there if I'm going to eat all those hamburgers that I want to eat. So I have nothing against it. I just don't like doing it. I don't have the constitution for it. I guess so. I don't know if you want to call me a softy or a wimp for it. Be my guest. It's just not really my thing. Yesterday's show, today's show, trying to think. Oh, one of the many followers, the blind
At
surfers.
Devil's Advocate 2354 says watching the city slowly wake up is cool experience.
That's
the city
the-
has its own rhythm.
Yes, that's what I was kind
Kimbo
of talking
14
about.
says Pete, how did you sneak a full skateboard? That's a decent sized thing to hide, lol.
Well, I didn't like stick it in my pocket. When I was packing up for college, we stuck a bunch of my stuff in some boxes, and then my dad had either rented a van. My dad was a car dealer, still is, and so I think he either rented a van or he just brought home a van from the car dealership. And I just kind of like put a skateboard at the bottom of one of those boxes, and my parents didn't know that I'd taken the skateboard into the city. I God, I had so many. We talked yesterday a little bit about like all the near death experiences that everybody has. When I did, I think it was my junior year of college, maybe the end of my sophomore year. My friend Alex Pollard. I don't know if he's out there watching, but hi, Alex. He got a car, and nobody had a car on the campus of Boston University because we lived, on Comm Ave. Basically, there's no parking. There's no point having a car. There would be nowhere to put it. But he got a car for a while, and literally the first thing I did, I was like, "Can you take me home? I want to get my bike." Because skateboarding across the city every morning, an hour across the city, then another hour across the city the other way. It was exhausting. And like Devil's Advocate, like what was just said in the comments section, waking up and watching the city, it timed out a lot that as I was going by Fenway Park, the sun would be starting to come up a little bit, just a little bit, start to outline the city for my shifts interning with the morning show, like right around 5 something in the morning, and I thought that was kind of cool. But I was getting exhausted, like skateboarding so far. So we went to my parents' house, and we had a car, and I went in and visited, and I was like, I'm gonna grab my bike, and I was like, no, you're not. I was like, I have to. I cannot. I can't keep getting around and not having a bike. So I just grabbed the bike and brought that thing into the city. And oh my God, the near death experiences I had on the bike,
Mornings.
like so many scary experiences. Biking in the city is hard, even if you can see, let alone if you can't really see anything. I got hit by a bunch of cars. I hit basically every obstacle out there. The one time I went into a manhole, that was kind of brutal. But so that waking up at 3:45 and skateboarding across the city, or 4:30 and biking across the city, as I wake up to do this morning show, and I say, oh man, I've got to walk 3 rooms and go turn on a computer. I would say that this is an easy cakewalk, and it's fun to communicate with you guys, talk to you guys, hear your messages. I believe I just put the chat up on the screen, so if you got anything to say, I will hear it immediately if it comes in. But we don't have Lola in the morning. When Lola, she's smart, sleeps in a little bit. When Lola Two Paws is here, she's constantly activating the.
At Goose of Positivity says I feel so positive today.
That's good. I wake up every day.
At JustMajoy 124 says true cars don't watch for bikes in this fast-paced world.
No kidding, right? I think they just, if you're a bike and you're on the road, you just appeared.
At Farbit 8553 says doesn't the sound of the text-to-speech annoys you while you're talking?
Well, it distracts me. If you've ever
At Joni
watched
BC
the
says
show
yes,
before.
Goose. He's been doing some as an experiment. Kimbo 14 says we have 14 on Twitch. Let's get that number up, y'all.
Yeah, that's low. I mean,
Saracom 7808 says yacht blind husband, I'm already at work.
Yesterday we did get to 34 again, so I keep tying the record of 34 on Twitch, and I mean, maybe Friday is just a slow day. I don't know. This is my first Friday morning show, but I'd love it to be above 20 at the very least. But if we can get to 30, that'd be great. If you guys are on other platforms, if we every day that I've done this show for the past 10 days, I've been getting 3,000 to 4,000 people on YouTube Shorts. And I wish like I could just make a plea to them. If they have Twitch, go over to Twitch and follow me at Pete Gustin, because the show's showing up on the Shorts feed. You're just going to see it for a second, and then you'll never get a notification. It's like it's a one and done kind of thing. So if you're on the Shorts feed of YouTube, I would plead, I would beg, I would ask you to head on over to Twitch and follow at Pete Gustin. Does the text distract me? Like, yeah, if you guys have been watching the show for a while, I feel like it's a mental workout. I was actually sitting on the toilet the other day thinking. I was like, because I'd watched a little bit of this back. I'm like, oh my God, I seem like a total space shot. Like I'm in the middle of a thought, and then I change the thought, and then I go back to the other thought, and then I forget what I was talking about 10 minutes ago. Because I'm in the middle of telling stories, and then I press a button and make the text come up, and I understand it. I can hear the text. I know exactly what it's saying to me, but I'll be in the middle of the story, then I'll start listening to that, and then I'll respond to the text message. So it gets a little distracting.
Kimbo14 says yes, thank you everyone who came over.
Yes, thank you. Do we get the number up? That would be getting it up in the morning would make me happy. Talking about the number on Twitch, of course. Anybody wants to come on over there? It's a fun little chat room, and
Saracom
I appreciate it.
7808 says Pete, it was 30 earlier.
Oh well,
Clint husband says lol.
That's good and bad. That means there were 30 people there, but then it means that I was boring.
Joy 124 says out of cognitive traffic right lol.
Yeah, that's the
Johnny
thing.
BC says goose. We're going away from random facts and non sequiturs because they're distracting.
Yeah.
Clint husband says people had to leave to go to work.
Well, I mean,
one both 3 drag 0 and says hello.
I'm not going to wake up even earlier. Like I thought about that. Like this is
positivity says the number of people around the world going hungry has fallen for a third consecutive year in 2020.
All right, there we go. Random facts. So, I mean, I don't. It just doesn't make any sense. The show, when I was doing this show in like November, December of last year, we had a whole bunch of geese, which is it's cute, it's nice. But the whole I rely on the chat to like interact with you guys and hear what you guys are doing, and it's kind of like it's my way of having a two-way conversation with my audience. I mean, if you have been watching this for any period of time, I can talk. And I didn't even know I could talk. I can just go for like 2 hours just talking, which is like it's got to drive banana kind of crazy. But I like to pop into the chat from time to time, because then I know what you guys are talking about and what's going on. And if I head in there and all I hear like random facts, like I guess random facts can be kind of fun for the audience. They're like, oh, I didn't know that. But if I'm hearing that, I'm like, okay, no one's paying any attention to me. They're just doing facts. So I think that might be why Joni is trying to police the facts out of
Saracom 7808 says
chat.
not you definitely am lol.
What? I am boring. I was saying before, if I went from 30 to 20 on Twitch.
Says we are 5+ years into the Great Tribulation. Make straight paths.
I don't even know what that means. Earlier, someone said, I had a bunch of those like blind surfers.
Saracom 7808 says not boring.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I feel like a little.
Webhead 1515 says sup Pete.
What's up, Webhead? How's it going?
YT says dropping by on my way to work to say hi. Hope you
Thanks,
have a great day,
viewer.
Pete, and a relaxing weekend.
I also hope for both those
Bradley
things.
731 says hi.
Hi, yeah. It's kind of funny. Like I leave the text off for
Christian
a minute.
says hi.
Not Christian. What up, not Christian? Hi back to you. And then I turn it on. I feel like it like ramps up.
87,342 says hello from Maldives.
Oh,
Saracom 7808 says people are leaving for work though.
I think Josh surfed there before. I've never been there, but I've heard it's a pretty awesome surf spot and a cool vacation spot. I wonder how it is to live there year round. It's technically the spot I live in is
Bradley 731 says how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. Technically, the spot I live in is a vacation spot, I guess. There was some guy, Nisha and I were on the beach the other day, and we're like getting ready to go to the beach. Both got our surfboards. We're like walking down there, and some guy is crossing our path, and she's like, "Wait," she didn't want me to walk into him. She said, "Stop," and he walks by, and he's got a dog with him. I guess he's walking his dog, and she's like, "Hey, how you doing?" And he goes, "Ah, tourists." And we're like, in my head, I'm like, how you doing? Wasn't like, invitation for a conversation here, but, pretty blonde girl just saying hi to you. And he took the opportunity. And he's like, oh, he's like, I live here year round and it's not that crowded from like September to May. He's like, but June through August, he's like, oh, so many tourists. Like you're basically dodging people. You're walking around them and there's nowhere to park and all the restaurants have lines and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, man, you live in a tourist town. Like you got to expect that. Like Legoland is like a couple miles that way. So you got parents coming out here for Legoland. You got the beach right over there. And, the town that we live in does a lot of advertising to bring people in here. And so he kind of went on this diatribe of how hard it is living in a vacation town. I was like, it's not that bad, man. And then we're like trying to just get to the beach to go surfing. And then his dog makes a funny noise. Like I could hear the collar jingling. I knew that there was a guy there. I knew there was a dog there because I heard like, like when he wiggles and the collar jingles. And I go, what kind of dog is it? And he goes, oh, he's like, every night my dog snores and then my wife snores and then everybody's snoring and then I have to get up and sometimes I end up go sleeping on the couch or I just get up and go for a walk and come back and hope that they stop. And all of this from Nisha and I were just like trying to get down to the beach to go surfing. And she just said, hi, or good morning, or whatever she said. Some people like to talk. Some people just like to talk. For example, this guy right here has been talking for, what time is it now? 7:11. So I've probably been going at it for about a full hour right about now. If you guys have anything you want to contribute, if you do a chat on any of the platforms, it will come up in the chat feed, and I should be able to hear it.
Kimbo14 says dude apparently needed someone to vent to.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never been a pretty girl before.
I've done a lot. 731 says I finally heard you in a commercial, and that's the same in Middle Tennessee. People are moving here from California, though a lot more than you might think. Carson Creates 7 says hi.
Hi. Hello there, Carson Creates. Yeah, I've never been a pretty girl. I even all the roles that I've played in radio.
953 says good morning.
Good morning. I've never played the role of a pretty girl, but I will say, hanging out with Nisha on the weekends or being out with Banana, like random dudes just talk to win. Like if they give you the time, Nisha's very welcoming. She's always like smiling and looking at people, whereas Banana's a little more focused on getting me around, and I think she gives people a lot of evil eye, like get out of the way. But she's like a very welcoming person, and guys, it's like guys are just like desperate to talk to a girl, like a pretty girl. Like she'll just be like, hi, good morning, how are you, how's your day? And they like stop they stop everything they're doing and they're like, oh, she just talked to me, now I'm gonna talk. Like we get waylaid on our way to the beach all the time, whether it's like some like 11-year-old kid that wants to take a picture with me or just some random set of dudes, and they can tell like I don't care, like I'm not her husband. I think they can just tell, like I give off a different vibe. They'll start like being friendly to her, and they might check, they're like, does that guy care? I'm like, I don't care, I just want to get to the beach. One guy, this is kind of funny. It's kind of funny how people think of, Anisha's a friend, just like Brooks is a friend and Josh is a friend. She's one of my friends. But because people get confused about Nisha and Banana, they might look somewhat similar, I guess. But also I spend a lot of time with Nisha on the weekends. I think people get the wrong idea sometimes. I was dropping off some boxes of Blind Penguin frothing hand soap, and some guy thought that Nisha was Banana. And I explained that, no, that's Nisha, my surf coach. And then later on, through social media, he invited me to a cookout. And he's like, yeah, you should come over with Nisha and Banana. And it was kind of funny. Like, he's being nice. He's inviting the people I know. But it kind of made me giggle. I was like, I don't always roll around with two blonde-haired, blue-eyed chicks. They don't have to go with me. Or like, I surf with Nisha, I live with, married to, and hang out with Banana. But it's not all three. It's not all three of us at all times. I don't know if you guys saw it on Wednesday night. Nisha actually came over and hopped on the couch, and that was super fun. That was fun. But I will say, the three of us on the couch at the same time, it was me and Nisha and Brooks, gets a little toasty in here. But she works One of the benefits to her coming is the fact that she works for a place called Batch and Box. She's a manager there, and they make like these super awesome, amazing gourmet cookies. And she brought these big, huge, fat peanut butter cookies with her, and we got to enjoy those after the show. And
At Carson Create 7 says it's 10:14 where I am.
10:14. So you're probably, is it 7:14?
7:14 a.m.
It's 7:14 here, which means that you are on the east coast of the United States, most likely. Although
At Enix59 says hi.
the Eastern time zone is EST is a little wider than that, I guess, because I do a lot of work for WRIF in Detroit, and they're on Eastern time. And it's been a long time since I've seen a map, but as far as I know,
says cookies sound so good right now.
I can't eat cookies in the morning. Can't eat a cookie first thing in the
Tinda
morning.
Cold says, are there any dogs with you right now?
Well, no. So that's the other thing. Now that Banana's back, the dogs love to sleep with and on top of and around and squish Banana. So now that she's back in the house, when it was just me,
Joy 124 says cookies sound good right now.
really, you guys want cookies in the morning? When it was just me
At
and
Best Fix Edit says it's 5:15 p.m. here.
wow, that's really far away. You got to be over in Europe somewhere. When it was just me and the puppies, like they were following me around, so I would wake up, 5:55 and roll in here, and then the two puppies would come in with me. But I think they probably saw me getting up at 5:55, and then they realized that Banana was still in bed.
10:18 here on TikTok.
10:18. Wait, what does that mean? There's 1,018 people, or it's 10:18. No, wait, is it 18 in the morning?
7:16 a.m. 7 notifications
So that's confusing. So you're either 3 hours and 2 minutes ahead of me, or there's 1,018
Timbo
people on
14 says
TikTok,
breakfast cookies are great in moderation lol.
or there's 10 to 18 people on TikTok. I don't know. I don't
At
know what the heck.
124 says it's 10:15 here.
It can't
At
be.
Carson
Oh,
Create
because you
7
guys
says,
are
how do you
behind.
use your phone being blind?
Like this.
At Joni BC says sounds like Australia or New Zealand.
Yeah.
Yahoo Mail, 15 minutes ago. Twitch. Blind_surfers_toaster is now following you on Twitch.
Oh, that's the message. Blind Surfers Toaster is following me. How do I use my
Grunt
phone?
says 10 to 18 people.
Oh, all right. Well, I mean, it's better than nothing. What's up, Twitch people?
At Enix59 says I'm a huge fan, bro. I'm
Thank
getting into
you.
my hobbies and lure my inspiration, so how would I really kickstart that?
Yeah, whatever hobby it is, do it. Make time for it. Wake up early. Stay late. Get someone that's
Best
good
Fix
at it
Edit
to
says
teach
I'm
it.
in Kenya, East Africa, 5:16 p.m.
Wow, that's
At
cool.
Joni BC says
Worldwide.
Carson, you're seeing how he does it.
Yeah,
At Brian
exactly.
Hubbard 2940 says 10:16 9.
Um,
Clint Husband says if you're really a true fan, you would be on Twitch.
This is true. This is true because on Twitch is the fun chat and the fun and all the emojis. Which the other chat lady, which she might have died, the chat lady
Ryan
that's
Miller
associated with this.
3316 says what is up in eating cookies at 9:17.
Yeah, you can't eat cookies first thing in the morning. I can't eat cookies first thing in the morning. I don't even do
At Joni BC
breakfast
says
until
that's right. Best
after-
fix. I'm making
af-
note.
I can't even do breakfast until after 10 o'clock. And I feel like this switched about 10 years ago. Like I used to be a breakfast person. Banana's a breakfast person. She'll wake up and have like the lumberjack breakfast, or at least she used to.
Blind Mexican 760 says can you get voiceover gigs from home? Just wondering.
Yeah, of course. I do all my voiceover gigs from home. I don't, because I'm not an animation person. The animation people have to go into the studio and they have to do the table reads and they sit there with the directors and the writers and everything. But everything I do, all 70, 80, 90, 100 sessions a day are done right there, right in that studio, right over there. Yeah, morning, like I don't. So even this morning I woke up at 5:55. I'm not going to eat until after 10 o'clock in the morning. If I put something in my stomach before 10 o'clock, my belly is not happy with me. It's been this way for like a decade. I do remember though. Oh my God, my breakfast was vile when I was in high school. I was on swim team in high school, and my town didn't have our own pool. So we had to go to another town and use their pool, and of course they used their pool like normal people after school. They would, swim practice, swim team after school. But because we were like the beggars and we wanted to use their pool at a different time, we used to swim in the morning. So we used to either swim in Medford High School's pool or one of the pools at Harvard University. And we had swim practice from, what was it? I think it was 5 to 7 in the morning. Yeah, that was another time I had to wake up early, get picked up by one of the seniors who could drive, and then they'd bring us to practice and swim from 5 till 7. And so every morning, and this is the winter. Oh God, I'm like having bad flashbacks about it. So you'd wake up at like 4:30, 4:40, something like that, and then you'd go outside, and it was snowing, freezing, and then you'd be in this pool, and you'd come out kind of wet, and you're freezing, shivering, and we would go to the supermarket afterwards. This is my breakfast, my post swim team breakfast in high school. I would get 2 or 3 glazed donuts, and then I would buy a quart or a pint. What's about this big? I forget. I think a quart. I think I buy a quart of quick chocolate milk, and I would drink the whole quart of chocolate
Johnny
milk.
BC says, why not? There are breakfast bars and breakfast drinks, breakfast cookies, biscuits are on the table.
That's true. And I would eat all that because you would burn so many calories swimming for 2 hours. I needed to replenish it. But the giant thing of chocolate milk, I can't even imagine how that would go these days. But yeah, these days I don't eat anything.
Tinta Cold says, is there anything that you find more enjoyable blind?
No, nothing at all. It's a normal. People come across me on social media and they're like, "You're blind," and then they think like, like, how do you use your phone? Like, what's the worst part about going blind? What's good about being like? I think that a lot of people could answer this stuff themselves. Like, close your eyes,
Kimbo
walk around
14
for a
says
few minutes.
IDKY swim is considered a winter sport in school.
Hey, I don't know either.
Fedlin Fisherman 27 says, I have these instant breakfast.
If you close your eyes and you walk around for 5 minutes, like, you tell me what's enjoyable about that. and then also and then some people I get all the time, like, I closed my eyes and walked around for an hour. It was quite the experience. It was a lot of fun. I learned a lot. And I'm like, yeah, I guess that's because you can open your eyes at the end of your experience. But when you can't and you're stuck that way, it's like a little extra frightening. And I've done this a couple times with some of my friends. Banana's never done it, but I've tried to like have other people like, hey, we're going to blindfold you. And I feel like consciously or subconsciously, like right before the blindfold goes on, they take extraordinary, detailed like snapshot of their surroundings. They're like, okay, there's like a monitor over there, and there's like a chair over there, and there's a table over there, and they like put it all in their head, and then whoop, then they're blindfolded, and then they're basically what they're doing is trying to remember what they saw in the room. It's very, in order to truly understand the fear, the terror, the horror. Take any word you want, like, and associate it with take any bad word you want, and you can associate it with blindness. Like, it is effing scary all day, every day. So yeah, in order to experience that, not only do you have to be blindfolded, but you have to have someone take you into a place that you've never been to before. I had Nisha paddle out blind once, and she said that was horrible. Paddling out means getting in the water and trying to get to the outside past the breaking waves, because everybody else, you just see the wave coming. And as a surfer, you gotta time it. You gotta push the nose of your board down. It's actually very difficult. When the wave is coming, you gotta push the nose of your board down, and as it goes down, then you gotta kick the back of your board. Like, you gotta put your knee on it, or kick the back of it with your foot on the stomp pad, and the wave goes over, and then you come up the other side. Because if you just paddle into a wave, you're gonna get shoved backwards. So it's this whole like duck diving pattern. You're trying to get under the waves. And now I'm trying to do it by sound all the time, and it's friggin' difficult. And I never quite time it out right. Like, as I'm going out there into the ocean, usually if I'm with Brooks, especially, Nisha will stay by my side for the most part, but Brooks, he's just kind of like, he's like, I'm going. And then, he times it. He sees a wave and goes under, sees a wave, goes under. And then I'm like listening. And sometimes I go under. I'm like, oh no, it's not here yet. And I'm like trying to hold the board under, but it's a flotation device and it's starting to bring me up. I'm like, no. And then I pop up, and then if I timed it really badly, the wave will hit me and I'll get like shot backwards. I'm like, oh no. So getting out is very difficult. And sometimes, the worst is when you go under too early, that's super annoying because you can come up and get hit back. But also if you go too late, like sometimes it's just hard to hear exactly where the waves are if it's like a noisy day. And what do you do right before you go under? You take a big breath, right? Because you're going to be under there for a second. So a fair amount of the time, I'll go to be like, as I go to like prepare to go under, but the wave is way closer than I thought, and I'll suck in water. Oh, I remember that like the first time I sucked in a ton of water, and I'm sitting there throwing up, like just violently, like wah, puking. And I remember the first time Nisha's like, "Oh no, are you okay?" I'm like, this is just something I do. I gotta puke up all this ocean water. It's definitely, it's got its challenges surfing blind. But yeah, I did put a blindfold on Nisha and asked her to paddle out through the whitewash and try and get to the outside. And she's like, it is exhausting because you're just on high alert the whole time, like completely just you're listening, your heart's beating, you're holding a breath in reserve. Yeah, that's the
Siglin
other thing.
Dispens says after 5 years of living with me, my wife doesn't even use lights anymore lol.
That's Banana does the same
Tindy
thing.
Cold says I never even thought about paddling out blind. Yikes.
Yeah, paddling out is the worst part, and that's funny you said that. The blind husband. So Jenny, so Banana, like every once in a while, I'll go into a room and realize, or she'll tell me that like she doesn't have the light. I'm like, you're just sitting here in the dark. She's like, I don't know, just being with you for so long, I really don't need to see everything. I mean, there are so many things that sighted people do that they like. The video I posted yesterday, like people shaving, they're like looking in the mirror, double checking, trying to make sure everything's exactly right. Like people are just used to seeing stuff, and I would do the same thing if I could see. Obviously, I'd be looking at stuff, but there's a lot. I mean, I use my computer without looking at it, and because of that, I feel like I'm a lot faster. Like I'm really fast on my computer. I feel like looking at it is mildly redundant all the time. Like, oh, I gotta find where that thing is. You know where it is. It's always in the same spot. The file menu is in the top left. You throw your mouse up to the top left, move it down a quarter inch. That's where file is. Um, but people with their eyes, of course, use their eyes. That makes sense. But yeah, same thing. Blind husband. My wife does the same thing. She doesn't flip on lights all the time anymore. And yeah, the person that was asking about the paddling out blind, like the surfing blind is difficult. Like timing out when the waves are coming and when you should paddle, but there's tactile feedback to that. As you're going forward, you feel the waves start to like pick your tail up. You're like, okay, here it comes. So you at least get that feedback. But the paddling out part, especially in a the hardest part about surfing blind, bar none, far and away, is getting out there. And some days I'm just like, oh, I don't want to. It's like a lot. Wait. The Blind Travel Foundation. So there's this Blind Travel Foundation that like they give a $10,000 grant to people to go traveling, and I think I applied for it the year before last, and I was about to
That
win.
one Vampiro said hi.
But they told me I had to make a bunch of content and then post it on their channel, and I was like, oh, I don't want to do that. And I'd rather let someone else experience that anyway. So it's kind of cool. They take blind and legally blind people and give them a grant to go on some sort of an adventure. Plus, I never really get any time off, so I don't know when the heck I would do it. What did I just press over here? The chat seems either slow or my robot lady is being slow. I'm going to try and touch the screen. Oh, wait.
Difficult.
Oh, there we go.
I never even thought after 5 years of living with me, my wife doesn't even use lights anymore. Alexander Olivier J says hello. P.
Hello.
I have a question.
Yes.
2 questions.
Two
both
questions.
related to voice acting.
'Kay.
How do I use my supraglottal cords? And also, what's your favorite voice acting gig that you've gotten?
I don't even know what
At
you're.
Nicudazish 8573 says it's medical. Should I stop and get depressed and jump off a bridge?
No, don't do that.
Kimbo14 says Twitch chat is slow right now.
Okay. Well, so Friday morning is a slow day, is what I'm gathering. I was gonna do, so I'm gonna do 4 days a week. And my plan was to do Tuesday and Wednesday at 6 p.m. And then Thursday and Friday at 6 a.m. Because I'm just trying to get out here a little bit more. But maybe I should do, I don't know. If I'm awake, maybe I'll try Monday morning, see if that's a little more exciting. I feel like people are just kind of like, this week, and they're like kind of mailing it in on Friday. Maybe that's what's going on. But I'll nail down my schedule eventually one of these days. Yeah, I mean, yesterday's morning, I did morning on Wednesday, and that one was like really good. And then I think I did morning yesterday, and it was even better. We had like 34 or 35 on Twitch for a while. And whoever was just asking about their super glottal vocal cords, like, if that's what your concern is with your voice acting, like, I gotta say, you're doing it wrong. Don't worry about the which body part you're engaging. Just do good voiceovers. Like feel what you're reading. Pay attention to how it's coming out.
18 says, do you like Dire Straits Money for Nothing?
Oh yeah, Money for Nothing, your chicks for free.
At Joni BC says Bulbino, that's not cool to post.
Yeah, whatever that was.
Olivier
It's not
says
cool.
I meant false vocal cords. Siglin Husband says if I ever see you, I'm taking you kayaking. Soar my message. Why?
I've been kayaking before. I've definitely done that. I even did whitewater rafting a while ago, and I don't know what false vocal cords are. Is this something Siri knows? What are false vocal cords?
The false vocal cords are a pair of folds located just above the vocal cords. They are not involved in voice production.
Okay.
This is from Britannica.
If they're not involved in voice production, I would suggest not using them to do voice acting because they're not involved. So don't do that. What was the other person asking me? Oh, no, that's the wrong button. I pressed the wrong button.
Situation in life
This is
XD.
the button that I wanted. Get in the chat.
At Real
back up
Tempe
there.
1 says hi.
Hi, Real Tempe. There was a baseball
Sibling
picture
Lisbon says
in
lol.
there. Lol. And yeah, it is kind of slow today, huh? That was the. I was curious about that. I
At
was
Mr.
curious.
Balbino says at Joni BC sorry but it was true. At Joni BC says that's a very specific vocal training question.
Oh, here we go.
At Best Fix Edit says have you ever traveled to Africa, mostly Kenya?
No, I've only ever traveled. I've never been outside of the country other than going to the Caribbean. I've been to a bunch of
At
slash
Joni
most of
BC
the
says it's
Caribbean
not
islands.
a topic for here.
This happened yesterday, right around this time, right around 7:30 in the mornings. This is the time when people start to troll and get into it with Joni. I asked for a summary of the chat yesterday, and I guess at the end it got a little cantankerous
At One
there.
Vampiro says I'm happy that I actually caught one of your live shows.
I'm glad that you caught it too, One Vampiro. Welcome to the Friday morning edition of the Blind Surfer Show, which I don't know. We'll check out the numbers. I would say it's me. It's just me. Nobody else is helping. I will check out the numbers at the end of this, see if anybody's been around, and then we'll decide as to whether or
Sibling
not.
Distant says if you never want to miss a single one, go subscribe on Twitch.
Yeah,
Edwin Fisherman 27 says everybody be nice.
yeah, be nice. Listen to the fisherman, or he'll come and fish you. He'll get you. That's I feel like the Blind Fisherman. This might be your first or second day, and I feel like you've stuck around for a large chunk of this, so I appreciate that. I'm kind of shocked when people come and stick around but it's not just me. That's what I'm starting to understand. I get it, especially over in Twitch. It's like the community. There's like a whole bunch of people that like are hanging out and chatting and talking with each other. So that's kind
At
of fun
Joni
for
BC
everybody
says I'll
involved.
place you in permanent timeout if you continue. Balbino, we're family friendly content.
Permanent
At
permanent
Ronix24
timeout,
Wake says I farted.
like Blair Witch Project. Like you'd be staring at the corner of the wall. Oh, someone's asking me about Money for Nothing, and so Dire Straits, Money for Nothing, Chicks for Free. And that
Edwin
has Sting
Fisherman
on the
27
intro.
says no, I'm Waylon Vic. I changed my username.
Oh, Waylon Vic, which I thought was Whale Vic. Waylon Vic. Okay. All right. So, you were the one asking to change
Jimbo
your
14 says
username.
this is an awesome community.
It is. We have the best community ever. And I'm kind of missing my dogs. The fact that the dogs aren't here, they're asleep with Banana over in the next room. The funny thing about Money for Nothing, Chicks for Free is I didn't, that song was out in the 80s and I was just a little kid. I didn't know what the heck they were talking about. But I did know that when my mom went to the grocery store, she had to write a check to pay for her groceries. And I did know that on occasion she would run out of checks and would go down to the bank together where I had my little passbook. Anybody ever have a passbook? How old am I that had like a little passbook where I would go and deposit my $2 a week allowance in, and so we'd go down there and I'd deposit my little $2 allowance and watch it grow by, I think back then, like the interest rate in a savings account was actually decent. It was like 5% or something. That doesn't exist anymore. But my mom would have to buy new checks, and she went through a lot of checks. We paid the cable bill with the checks, paid the groceries with the check, and she'd have to go buy a new check. And I remember her talking about it. Again, I was like 7, 8 years old, probably when that song came out. And so the song, get your money for nothing and your chicks for free. And so I misheard the lyric as money for nothing and your checks for free. And I was like, wow, what a good deal. What a good deal to be a rock
I had
star.
one in the late 80s.
You can get your money for nothing and you get your checks for free. Because it was related in my head, like money and checks. I didn't get money and chicks. And then even when the video came out,
HK1BV says hi, this is my first time joining on of your Steam.
hey, on
At
of my
Johnny
Steam,
BC says Shmoyah Eclipse. No,
Probably-
chat stays on for Pete, that's how he hears chat.
probably means one of my
Edwin
screens.
Fisherman
But thank
27
you for,
says how much is a checkbook?
I don't know. I mean, back then it was probably like, I don't even know, $3, $5, something like
Kimbo
that.
14 says LOL, that's fun.
But yeah, I don't know. I thought being a rock, I heard the making of that. Mark Knopfler is the singer for Dire Straits. I think he's the one that wrote that
Sibling
song
Dispen says I bought $1 a check, I work at
at something. But he was literally, he wrote that song because he said basically word for word, he was in a department store and there was a guy complaining He's like, we got to move these refrigerators. We got to move these color TVs. And then the whole part about, look at that over there, shaking the bongos like he's on his MTV. And then they use a derogatory term for, there's a derogatory term in that. I don't want to say it or get even near it because that'll get me nixed over here. But I've been hearing that song talking about Money for Nothing by Dire Straits. That derogatory term that starts with F has never been bleeped. I've heard that on the radio my entire life.
Layla.
Yeah. Thank you for coming and joining the Morning Breath edition of the Blind Surfer Show. I did hit my 7:30 mark, and I do have at least one script that should be done before 8 o'clock.
2647 says, hey Pete, you ever do any voice acting in films or TV?
In them, I was in The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. What else? God, I don't even know. I was in Ugly Dolls. I don't do a lot. I'm mostly a
Joni BC
promo.
says Pete was the singer for his band back in the day.
That's true. I was mostly a promo trailer commercial voice actor. I don't do a
says thank you for another awesome stream, sir.
ton of theatrical stuff. Oh, Ben 10. I was in Ben 10. But yeah, I can just, the volume of work that I can do doing promos, trailers, and commercials is much higher than
Yes, he does.
than theatrical. I feel like I'm not getting the entire chat, or I'm just not, like, who, Joni's talking to someone, Gazpacho asked something, but I didn't hear it. But whatever the answer is, yes. Joni speaks for me. You guys ever read Lord of the Rings or see the movies?
Hello.
Wait, was your username Bimbo? Did I just hear Bimbo? That's a good username. It's kind of funny. But in Lord of the Rings, there's
one says good morning everyone.
The mouth of Sauron. I feel like Joni is my mouth of Sauron. Because I don't think she's ever said anything incorrect. She answers, she knows all my stuff, and she answers all the questions. If I don't get to it, I do my best to try and pop into the chat as frequently as I can.
Says good morning.
Good morning.
At Mr. Balvino says, what was the strangest voice acting gig you've gotten, whether you accepted it or not?
I don't know. I gotta
At Joni
think
BC
about
says
that.
BINBO.
Oh, BINBO, BINBO, and Bimbo is their name. Oh, I mean, it sounded like Bimbo to me, but Bimbo makes more sense, I suppose. Strangest voiceover gig. I don't know. Sometimes you get hired by a company, and I can't think of any of these off the top of my head, but like I have to say, if they give me all the information, if it's like a national campaign or a Super Bowl, or I basically sign like 3 to 4 NDAs a week where you're not allowed to discuss what you're talking about, because they don't want the stupid voiceover person, especially me with a big following. They don't be like going on and like blowing their campaign.
2647 says, what is it like interacting with the California crowd and the more Hollywood or Hollywood adjacent types as a more grounded, normal guy? At Mon Vampiro says ROFL. At David Horton says hi.
Hold on, I'll answer those two questions. And so a lot of the times, like, I know what's going on in the commercial, but I'm not allowed to tell anybody. But other times, they don't even tell me. Like there was something that I did with some WNBA star, but they didn't give me her lines. They just gave me my lines, and I was just like, yeah, absolutely, and we should totally do that. Like I was responding to what she said, but I had no idea what she was saying. Like, because they were going above and beyond to make sure that I like didn't leak the spot or ruin the gag or something like that. And from my perspective as a performer, I was like, I could do a better job if I knew what she was saying, but I guess I got what they were going. So I haven't had like a weird job where they made me say weird things or anything like that, but I've had weird jobs where like I didn't even know what the heck was going on. And that person might, the last person asking about hanging out with the Hollywood people, like when Banana and I moved from Boston out to the West Coast, we looked at Hollywood, we looked at LA, we looked at Burbank, and we had no interest in being up there, especially Banana. Like I was going to move from one city, move from Boston, and then just go to another city. We're in a small beach town. Beach is right there. Just little shops, little, you go in there and you can buy a sand dollar or a little souvenir thing that has the name of my town on it. We're not hanging out with Hollywood people at all. This is a quiet little surf town. I hang out with all surfers, and not many of them have much to do with the entertainment world at all. Most of the people in my town are kind of transplants from other parts of the country. Most of them like made a bunch of money and they're like, I think I want to live in San Diego. Like, I'm definitely one of the only people around here who like works, who keeps regular work hours. I mean, up and down my street and basically like, you know, Brooks works, I work, but most of the people I know are, they either like own a company or owned a company or sold a company. And they it's not a lot of people doing work around here. A lot of tech money and stuff like that, or you know, people that made money and interesting in different ways. So I don't hang out with the Hollywood elites. I don't know them. You know, I promote their movies. They hear me doing their trailers and stuff, but we're not buddies. I don't hang out with Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm not pals with Bradley Cooper or Brad Pitt. I mean, I think it'd be fun to like hang out with them or something, but no, different. I live in a different world. Just a silly.
Drumming says howdy. I just woke up from my 4 hours of sleep.
4 hours is it's 7:40.
At
That's later than I
Gaspatchinator
thought.
2647 says, guess I just figured by your work on television and with voice acting, I figured you might have worked with those types.
Yeah.
Thanks for answering though, Pete.
You're welcome. I'm glad that you could come by this morning. I didn't. It's 7:40 now. Now I have
Evelyn
to.
Husband says, according to YouTube, people only care about Tom Holland and Spider-Man now for some reason.
Well, you know, cool for them. Hopefully they care enough to come back and watch this show again. I'm gonna take Monday off. I think if I'm like laying there in bed on Monday morning.
Says, see you later, Pete.
Thanks, Matea. Thanks for watching the TikTok, people. If I'm up in the morning on Monday, it's not scheduled. I don't know. I'll have to see how this one went. If this one was like super low numbers, I might try Monday just see how it goes. But the plan is to be back next Tuesday at 6 o'clock.
Fedlin Fisherman 27 says, farewell, Pete.
Thank you, Fisherman. I hope you guys all have a nice weekend.
Layladen HK1BB says, Pete, what's your favorite word?
Word. I don't know. I'll give you that on Tuesday.
Here for Pete.
That'll give you a reason.
Movies as much.
That'll give you a reason to tune in on
Sarah
Tuesday.
7808 says, bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Oh, and don't forget to
Early
follow on
83 says
Twitch
bye.
at Pete Gustin.
Fidlin
Have a good
Husband says
weekend.
bye.
Enjoy your weekend.
Saracom
Enjoy your
7808
time.
says, take care, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
At Joni BC says, have a great weekend, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Matt Honker says, bye.